Welcome back, students. In our today's class, we are going to discuss what are verbs. Okay, as all of we already know that verbs are action words. Verbs suggest that the subject of the subject of a sentence is doing. Okay, now this is the definition that we are given here. That you know that verb is an action word. It can tell us what a person or thing does and what a person or thing is or has. So the basic function of verb is telling us that what a thing or person is doing and what a person is and what a person has. Now there are four kind of verbs we can refer now. That most verbs, there are four types. Okay, first, as you can see, most verbs are doing verbs. That is, they tells us about what a person or thing does. So most verbs are doing verbs. What they does, they tells us about what a they tell us about what a person or thing is doing. Okay, now these are some examples. Like the man fell down. What the man does, he fell down. Radha ran towards the door. What Radha is doing? Radha is running towards the door. So Radha is the subject and the action she is doing is running. So Radha ran towards the door. In this sentence, ran is the verb. Now the second one, the verb has and have tell us about what a person or thing owns or has. Okay, so with the use of has and have, we can assume what a person owns. Okay, it suggests one kind of ownership. Like I have a bicycle, I have a new bicycle. A cat has four paws. So by using have and has, we are learning what a person owns. Okay, now the third one, the verb be. Now we are talking about be verbs. Okay, we are talking about be verbs. The verb be tells us what a person or thing is. The forms of be include, so what a person or thing is suggested by the be verbs. Like and these are some of the forms of be verbs: is, am, are, was, were, will be, and shall be. Okay, now these are some of the examples. Like I am tall, Madhu and Govind were on a bus. So they were on a bus. I am tall. Okay, I will come to more discussion later. Now let us just read all this. Now the fourth type. Some verbs consist of a main verb and a helping verb. The main verb tells us about the action. Okay, so what the main verb does? The main verb tells us about the action that the subject is doing, while the helping verb tells us about the time of the action. So what the helping verb does, it tells us about the time of action. What is the time of action? Let us some of the examples. Like they are like they are shouting. Okay, now the word shouting is the main verb. It is suggesting that some person are shouting. But when they are shouting, in the present tense or past tense or future tense, this are is the helping verb here. Are is suggesting that are indicates the present tense. So are is indicating the time when the action is happening. So the main verb tells us about the action, and while the helping verb tells us about the time of the action. Okay, now let us move to the first segment, that is object of the verb. Now what is object of the verb? To identify the object of a verb, what we have to do? We have to ask the verb question with whom or what. Okay, just like we have done in our subject predicate class, we have to ask the verb, question the verb with whom or what, then we get the subject. Similarly, if we ask question, ask whom or what to the verb in the sentence. In a sentence, we'll get the object. Now read the sentences. Peter bought a new football. What Peter did? He bought a new football. The old man remembered his childhood friend. What the old man does? He remembered whom? His childhood friend. Okay, now the word football and friend are nouns which are affected by the action of the sentences. They are the object of the words. So in simple words, when the noun is the nouns which are affected by the action of the verbs are called the object of the verb. So what is the object of the verb? In a sentence, object in a sentence is the noun or pronoun which is affected by the action of the verb. So the object in a sentence is the noun or pronoun which are being affected by the action of the verb. Okay, Peter bought a football. What Peter did? He bought a football. And by Peter's buying the football, who got affected? The football got affected. So, football is becoming the object of the verb. Now, let us move to transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, now these are some of the kinds of verbs that we need to know. Now let us move to the definition. What is a transitive verb? Let us first learn that. A transitive verb is a verb which needs an object to complete its meaning in a sentence. Okay, so basically a transitive verb is a verb that needs an object to complete its meaning. Without an object, it won't become a full sentence. Like, mother opened the bag. In this sentence, which one is the verb? Opening is the verb, so mother is the subject. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, so you got a clear canvas. In this sentence, which one is the subject? Mother is the subject. What he does, what she did, she opened the bag. So opening is the verb. So what she opened? She opened the bag. So the bag is the object. If we leave the sentence just by telling that mother opened, so the meaning remains or the sentence remain incomplete. We don't know what mother has opened, a jar or anything that could be. So to complete the meaning of the sentence, we need an object. To complete the meaning of which sentence we need an object is called object of the verb. Or the sentences which a transitive verb is a verb that needs an object to complete its meaning in a sentence. Okay, now this is another example. Suki helped her brother. What Suki helped her brother. Whom she helped? She helped her brother. So, she is the subject, helping is the verb, and to complete the meaning of the sentence, this verb, helping verb, needs an object. Okay. Now, there comes intransitive verb. What are intransitive verb? An intransitive verb is a verb which doesn't need any object to complete its meaning in sentence. So the verb which can stand by itself, it doesn't need the help of any other verb to complete its meaning, are known as intransitive verbs. Like the sun shines. Okay. So in this sentence, the sun is the subject and shines is the verb, and the sentence or the verb completes its meaning by itself. It doesn't need any kind of object to complete its meaning. Birds fly. What the birds are doing? They are flying. The meaning of the sentence is complete in itself. Okay, so the verb doesn't need the verb fly doesn't need any kind of object to complete its meaning. So it is an intransitive verb. in these sentences, the verbs do not require an object to complete their meaning. Therefore, shines, fly, is laughing, are swimming are intransitive verbs. Okay, now there comes verbs of incomplete prediction. Okay, now this is the definition. Verbs of incomplete predictions are, just a minute. Verbs of incomplete prediction are intransitive verbs which need a word or group of words to complete their meaning. So verbs of incomplete prediction are basically intransitive verb which requires a need of intransitive verb which requires a word or group of words to complete their meaning. Okay, now read these sentences. Tom is happy. Jim appears sad. Radha looks excited. She is beautiful. The verbs is, appears, looks do not have object. They do not show action or indicate possession. They need the words happy, sad, excited, beautiful to complete their meaning in the sentences. They are verbs of incomplete prediction. So these verbs do not show any kind of action or indicate any kind of possession. Okay, so they need a bunch of words or a word to complete their meaning. So they are the verbs of incomplete prediction. Tom is happy. Jim appears sad. Radha looks excited. Now a complement. What is a complement? Okay, we must read this portion also. The words happy, sad, excited, beautiful are not objects, but without them the meaning of the sentences are incomplete. They are called complements. So the what is the difference between these intransitive verbs and verbs of incomplete prediction? The verbs of incomplete prediction need some kind of complement to complete their meaning, to make the sentence meaningful, but these are not objects, these are complements. So what is a complement? A complement is a noun, adjective or an adverb that is used with a verb of incomplete prediction to make its meaning complete. A complement is a noun or adjective or an adverb that is used with a verb of incomplete prediction to make its meaning complete. Now let us move to the next portion. I will do all of these exercises. I have done some of the exercises in the live class, and the exercises that are not done in the live class I will do in the live class. Okay, so let us move to the finite and non-finite verbs. Okay, before moving to finite and non-finite verbs, we must read this portion. Some verbs, okay, these are the exceptions. Some verbs can be transitive as well as intransitive depending on the way they are used in a sentence. So, a verb can be both transitive and intransitive depending on the way we are using them in a sentence. The postman rang the bell. Transitive verb. Why? Because it has an object to complete its meaning. The bell rang loudly. It is intransitive verb, and loudly here is adjective. Okay. Why it is intransitive verb? Loudly is the complement. Okay. It is not the object. Now let us move to finite and non-finite verbs. Just a minute. Finite verbs are those which change their form depending on the tense of the verb and the number of person in the subject. Like Raju plays cricket every day. The verb plays, so the subject is singular. It also indicates present tense. Okay, so when the subject is in a the subject is in singular number and it also indicating present tense, what we do, we use a s with the verb, so it becomes a finite verb. Finite verbs are those which change their form depending on the tense of the verb, the number of and the person of the subject. Non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are those which do not change their form to show the action done by the subject. Okay, so what are non-finite verbs? Non-finite verbs are those verbs which do not change their form to show the action done by the subject. Like painting is my favorite pastime. It is not changing its form to show the action done by the subject. Non-finite verbs perform the function of a noun, adjective, adverb in a sentence. Okay. With that, we complete our chapter of verbs. The words painting, play are being used as noun in this sentence. Non-finite verb painting takes the verb plus ing form. It takes the subject in the sentence. Non-finite verb play takes to plus verb form. It acts as an object in the sentence. So in this way, non-finite verb doesn't change its form to show the action done by the subject. They perform the function of a noun. They are becoming a noun, adjective or adverb in a sentence. But basically they are verbs. Painting is my favorite pastime. The baby wants to play. Okay, now painting, the words painting and to play are being used as noun in this sentence. Non-finite verb painting takes verb plus ing to make its form. Similarly, to play takes the form of to plus verb form. It acts as an object in the sentence. Okay students, with that we finish our chapter of verbs. I have done all the exercises and in the live classes with all of you, and some of the exercises were given as homework. If you face any problem in understanding anything, you can contact me anytime. That's all for today. Bye bye students. Have a nice day.